Hello guys, today I will make slab return just like in Resident Evil 4 and the Env offset in Unreal Engine 4. Before we start, let's create a first person template in Unreal Engine 4. You can customize the project name and I'm going to call it slab return tutorial. Okay, let's create a project, and today we will use two free assets in marketplace. The first one is the FPS weapon bundle, and second is the animation starter pack. Let's create a new key binding in the project setting. Go to input section, add an action mapping called mDownSight. The binding should be a right mouse button and close it. Go to our first person character blueprint. First, create a new variable called ismDownSight. It should be a boolean. When we click the mDownSight action event, we need to set it to true. When we release, set it to false. Next, we need to change our default mannequin to the mannequin in the animation starter pack folder. As you can see that we don't have the animation blueprint, so the default is the A pose. We need to select the UE4 ASP hero TPP animation blueprint, and then we finally got a work blueprint in here. Click compile. Next, let's create a weapon for the character. We add the new component, need a new static mesh, and I'm going to call it AR15, and select the static mesh as it's AR4. Okay, never mind, just a lame typo. I'm going to change it to AR4, and we need to drag it under the mesh of the character and select the parent socket. It should be right hand, hand underscore R, which is right hand, and we can just slap it to the hand of the character. Oops. After we set up our new rampant, we need to edit the finite state machine, which is under the animation starter pack. Here, UE4 ASP hero. Open it. Go to the local motion graph. We need to remove some of the code because we don't need it. For instance, we don't have a crouch and jump. So by default, we only have idle stage, drop stage, and mDownSight stage. Let's create a new stage called mDownSight rifle. So what condition we can go to the new state? When user is click the mDownSight, we need to transfer from idle to mDownSight. So that let's create a new transition and create a new variable called is mDownSight. Drag it. If it is true, we can enter the transition, and if it is false, we need to go back to idle stage. Let's drag out the is mDownSight a lot boolean, so that when it's not mDownSight, we go back to the idle stage. Okay, let's go back to the event graph. Okay, you can see that lots of messy stuff in here. Let's remove some of the code. We don't have drum and crouch, so that just remove this code, delete it, and also remove the cast to the character look in here. We need to cast to our third person character. Oops. And then get the is mDownSight variable and set it to our variable in our finite state machine. Also, it's a good practice that we need to print the string, print the error message when we cast failed. Okay, let's compile, save, and then let's play. Try to because I forgot to set the output animation pose. Let's drag out the iron sight. Either rifle iron sight. Drag it out and collect it. Compile and save. Let's check out. You can see that we can end on site, but we need to do some logic about the slap return. When the user click the end on site, the character should rotate to the mouse position directly. Let's implement the end on site logic. Let's go to third person blueprint, first person character blueprint, and go to the viewport. We need to add another spring arm. First, we need to change the length from camera boom to normal spring arm. Click Ctrl and W to duplicate a new one called M down sight rifle spring arm. By default, the arm length should be 300. We need to modify the M down sight one to a smaller value. For instance, we can add it to 150. And we want to check if the camera boom is our desired output. Let's drag our follow camera to the new spring arm and change the location to 0. And let's compile, save, and play. And you can see that it is not our desired input when we click down M down sight, so that we can just change the socket offset of the spring arm. For instance, we need to get higher, for instance 10 or 20. It's all you can customize. Let's change, maybe we can give some rotation in y-axis, maybe 80. Okay, 90 should be better. Let's compile and let's check again. Okay, this should be our desired output. So let's move on the coding. But before, we need to revert the full camera to the normal spring arm. Remember to set back the location to 0, 0, and 0. Okay, let's compile. Go to the event graph. In the M down sight session, we need to attach the follow camera from normal spring arm to M down sight spring arm. When we release it, just revert the process. So that let's drag out our follow camera and choose spring arm. We can do it by using the attach component to component. With the follow camera, which is our target. When we end down sight, we need to attach it to the M down sight spring arm. When we release the M down sight, let's revert the process. Just attach it to the normal spring arm. And we need to change the rotation to the mouse direction, so that we need to set use control rotation set to true when we M down sight, and set to false. And we need to the most essential part, we need to keep it the location, rotation, and scale to keep word. Okay, let's do a smooth transition between the camera. We can do it by using the move component tool. Let's copy our full camera as our target component and collect the look in here. We need to take the easy out, easy in, and maybe 0.25 should be good, and for shortest rotation path. Let's compile and save and test the result. Okay, you can see that when we end down sight, our character is facing the direction of our mouse, and we have a smooth transition between our camera. As you may see, we have another problem because our gun offset do not move accordingly with the mouse vertical direction. So that we need to create an M offset. So that let's go to our content browser. In the animation starter pack, create a new folder called M offset. And we need to drag the M space iron size, copy it. Remember, it's copy here in the folder. And then we need to set the name is AO center. Let's duplicate two more of the AO center file by clicking Ctrl and W. We need to change the name to AO up. Another should be AO down. Let's open our AO center. As you can see that there's lots of blank space in here, but we only need the center position. So that let's pause it and go to the first frame. We need to remove all the frame, exclude the first frame. Let's remove from frame 1 to frame 87. And let's click play again. As you can see, there is load animation. It is correct. Otherwise, the interpolation will be gone wrong. Let's pause it and click save. Doing the same process. For instance, AO up. Let's also pause it. Select the M space that character is looking upward. Okay, this one in live frame 10 should be work perfect. Let's remove the frame. Remove frame to frame 11. Let's click play again. It must be static, otherwise it will go wrong. Okay, it's perfect. Let's click save and do the same process again for AO down. Let's check. It should be frame 20. Also, let's remove it. The only frame required. Let's click play again. It should be static. Yes, it worked perfect. Let's click save and close it. Then select the three files that we created and click Access Action, Bulk Edit via Property Matrix. Select all and go to Adaptive Setting. Select Mesh Space, Skeleton Animation Frame. Pick Assets. Should be let's search for iron sight. It should be idle rifle iron sights. And click Save All. Okay, let's close it and create a 1D M offset in animation. Sorry, M offset 1 dimension. See that our mannequin, remember, is a mannequin in our animation starter pack. I'm going to call it AO M. Okay, let's open it. Okay, you can see that by default is our A pose. Let's create binding the axis first. Let's create the axis which is pinch. The minimum should be 90 and the maximum should be 90. Okay, then let's drag out the AO center in here and drag AO up to positive 90, AO down to minus 90. Okay, let's test it by clicking the shift button. When player is is looking upward, the character will move accordingly. When the character moves down, it will move down accordingly. Let's click save. Then we close it. Let's go back to our starter pack folder and select the UE4 ASP animation blueprint. Go to the local motion, and in the M downside rifle, we need to drag out our M offset. Drag out in here and connect it to the base pose and connect it to the result. But we need to get the pinch value of our character, so we need to do some logic coding. So let's go back to our event graph, and then let's make it more clearly. Let's create two variables. The first one is time. The variable time is float. Another one is pinch. It is also a float. First, we need to set the time value. Let's go to blueprint update animation, drag out our time and set it to delta time x. Connect to the cast through character node. And then let's go to this part, cast to third person character. We need to calculate the pinch value. First, we need to get the control rotation of the controller and the eta rotation. Get eta rotation. Then we need to delta it, delta rotator. Collect it. Then let's drag out our pinch value and make rotator. Remember, the pinch value should be collected accordingly. And then let's doing some interpolation. Rotator interpolation tool and collect this one to current. The delta one should be our target. Delta time is our time that set. The speed should be 15. Then we need to break the rotator. Get back our pinch value. We need to doing climb the angle to inclusive -90 to 90. Then set back our pinch value. Let's collect it. After that, let's go back to our finite state machine locomotion. In the M sight rifle, let's drag out our pinch value, get it and set the pinch value of our AOM. Let's compile save and let's play. When the character is aiming vertically, you can see that the gun is moving accordingly and doing the slap return. Okay, that's all. If you have any questions, please leave in the comment section and leave a like or subscribe me for support. Thank you.